If there's one thing I've learned when it comes to designing a life that truly feels good for me to live in, it's that setting a bunch of goals or creating a vision board, all of that is great for telling me where I want to go, but it means nothing if I don't have a systematic plan to actually get me there. Actual change happens when you're able to take consistent steps towards your goals on a daily, ongoing basis. And of course, this is the part that most of us struggle with, but what I've found is that a good planning system is the secret to making those daily steps actually feel effortless. So today I'm walking you through how to make a weekly planner on Notion like this one to help you track your habits and make consistent progress toward your goals. And this isn't just a Notion template. This is a tutorial to show you how to make your own weekly planner that is custom to you, your goals, and what you need out of a planner. And we're gonna keep this simple because it doesn't need to be complicated. I promise you can do this. Also, timestamps are down below if you wanna skip around. Okay, let's get into it. First off, I wanna talk about what makes an effective weekly planner, whether you're using Notion or any other planning system. Number one, first and foremost, probably the most important thing is that your planner should work for you. Your planning system should be effortless and should make working toward your goals also feel effortless. If maintaining your planning system feels like another to-do on your to-do list, if it feels like it's becoming a burden and you're having to set aside like a whole bunch of time, on Sundays to set up your weekly planner and you're starting to avoid it, then it's not working for you. You need to figure out what works best for you so that you're able to effectively plan your week. You have everything you need right there in front of you, but you're also not kind of distracted by unnecessary clutter. It's that balance that you're gonna need to have to figure out. This, by the way, is why Notion templates don't always work. Of course, it's nice to be able to just kind of download and use somebody else's system, but the truth is that person designed their system for them, their workflow, their style, and we are all really different in terms of what we need, in terms of what our goals are and what kind of helps us move along and get towards those goals. And that's why I find it really helpful to have a weekly planner that is custom to you. Speaking of which, the second key element of an effective weekly planner is that it is adaptable. So by that I mean that your planner is not only customized to you, but you're able to change it depending on what your current needs are. So for example, some seasons of your life, you might want a gratitude section on your weekly planner because that's just a really big thing that you're trying to focus on in your life during that season. But then maybe in the following season of your life, the gratitudes, you're just not really filling them out. It's creating clutter and making it harder for you to use the weekly planner without feeling like you're failing because you're not filling everything out. So it's not working for you anymore. You need to get rid of it. Anytime that looking at your weekly dashboard starts to feel out of alignment with what you are currently needing, then it needs to be changed and adapted. You need a planner that's gonna change as you change. Number three, your planner should be templated. Here, when I say templated, what I mean is that your weekly planner should be easy to reset at the end of the week and start fresh for the following week. It should feel effortless to start a new week. If it feels like a whole big task to close out one week and get into planning your next week, trust me, you're gonna stop using that planner so fast. Fortunately, Notion actually has a lot of really cool and easy features that you can use to automate this templating process for you. So basically you can just hit a button and your new blank, fresh, new weekly spread is going to appear right in front of you, ready for you to start using. Lastly, it's usually helpful for your weekly planner to have some sort of big picture reflection component. So basically like a built-in process for you to be able to reference or eyeball your big picture monthly goals or yearly goals. It's really easy for a weekly planner to just kind of turn into a running task list of all of the tasks that are really top of mind for you right now in this moment. And that's how you can kind of get lost in the rabbit hole of to-do list items rather than actually spending your time making progress toward your bigger picture goals. The goal is just to make sure you're not falling off track and getting kind of distracted by the day-to-day minutia. And trust me, we all do this. I do it all the time. I fall into this trap all the time, but a good weekly planner can help you with this. Okay, so let's get into the Notion tutorial. For me, Notion is the perfect weekly planner system and overall planning system. It is very flexible and customizable to you, unlike a paper planner that you might find at the store. Notion also still lets you have kind of like an aesthetic or good, visually pleasing weekly planner layout without actually needing artistic talent or even a lot of time. And I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, so here we are in Notion, and the first step is we're going to make the Notion page that you want your weekly planner to live on. Typically people will have kind of a main Notion kind of life hub dashboard like this one right here. So you can see this is just where all of my different pages and information hubs live. You know, my shopping lists and things I want to watch, reading lists, finance, planning, all of the things live here on the Life Hub, but then I have an actual page right here, which is where I do all of my actual week-to-week planning, month-to-month planning. So this is the page where my weekly planner and monthly planners live. It's not on my main dashboard. However, you might want to have your weekly planner live right here on the dashboard. Here's an example of what that might look like. You can see right here, there's like a navigation to all the different pages you might have on the left, and then on the right side has your actual weekly planner. You might want to just consider, do you like having one page that you open up and you have both all of your other little collections and hubs and pages there and your weekly planner right there on the same page, so you can kind of see it all at a glance and all of your task list items are like right there when you open up your Notion? Or is that like a little overwhelming to have so much information right there on your main dashboard? Would you prefer to have your weekly planner kind of tucked away on its own separate page where you can just click in when you are trying to figure out what your tasks are for that day, but then click out so you're not just staring at your task list all day? Here's an example of what my focus view of my weekly planner might look like on a given month. And again, it changes from month to month, but this was September week 4, this is what it looked like. So make that judgment call for yourself. For the purposes of this tutorial, I am gonna just create a new page. So if you're on your Notion dashboard hub, you can either hit this little plus button and click page, or for me, I'm gonna do /page. So I'm making a new page, and then I'm gonna just title it my weekly dashboard, or maybe my weekly planner. So the next thing you want to figure out is what information you actually want to have on your weekly planner, or what formats you want to try. So the first thing you can do is just brain dump right here on this page is fine, or you can do it on a separate, piece of scratch paper if you want, but just brain dump all the different elements that you want to have represented on your weekly planner. So for example, you might want like a day-by-day breakdown. Monday, Tuesday, each day has its own task list. You might want that. You might want priority rankings for your tasks. So some people like to rank each day what is their number one priority, their second most priority, and then maybe like a list of all the other things that they would do that day if they have time. You might want an events and meetings section, like a deadline section. Habit trackers are another popular one that a lot of people like. I like doing a couple of like fluffier things that are more about mindset. For example, affirmations for the week, or manifestations for the week. You might also want something like a weekly focus, like what is your main focus for the week, a month at a glance view. What else? You might want like a weekly review you do at the end of each week. I don't know, people might want things like meal planners, workout planners, whatever it is that you might be interested in having represented on your weekly planner, write it down here. And trust the process, this is gonna get a lot cuter. From there, you might wanna just start narrowing things down or combine things that are kind of similar in idea and just really get a concrete, crisp list of exactly what you're gonna build into this weekly planner for today. Remember, you're gonna be tinkering with the system. You wanna figure out what works for you, and adding too much can start to make it feel overwhelming. So just pick the things that are really important to you for now that you wanna try, and you can always tinker, add, subtract later on. Okay, so for this tutorial, maybe we want a day-by-day breakdown, maybe we want a priority rankings, events and meeting section that can, the deadlines will be kind of prioritized with the priority ranking, so maybe I'll save that for later. Habit trackers, yeah, let's include that in this. Maybe we'll do affirmations for the week, but not manifestations. Let's add in a weekly focus. Let's add in all of these things, and these ones we will save for later. All right, now let's find the visuals that you want to use on this page. When it comes to weekly planners, or really any Notion page that you're going to be looking at and using a lot, I think it really helps to make the page visually appealing, make it cute, make it something that you really enjoy coming and looking at, because if you're going to be spending a lot of time on the page, you just want it to be pleasurable, right? You want it to be something that lights you up, gets you excited to look at. Sometimes it might even help to think about what kind of mood you want for the page, or what is the mindset or energy that you want to have when you look at this page. That can help you think about the visuals that you might want to have on the page. So my favorite place to find cool imagery is definitely Pinterest. You can scroll and just look for images that are speaking to you or feel like the right vibe for your page. I don't know why things aren't loading right now. So for me, I actually have a whole Pinterest board dedicated to vibes. So this is where I kind of collect anything that I come across on Pinterest that I think I might one day want to use on a Notion page or Notion template that it just feels like really vibey and aesthetic. I will save it to a board, so that way anytime that I'm building a new Notion page, I kind of already have this whole library of super vibey images that will definitely allow me to find something that I, want to choose for that particular page. So maybe for this page, what about like these books? Maybe this is kind of cute. Ooh, or how about one of these like skies? Oh, this is really nice. Ah, there's so many pretty things on my own page. Okay, sorry, this is just so cute. Sorry to gas up my own Pinterest page, but I've been finding a lot of cute stuff lately. This is a really fun part of the process because it can really get you inspired and jazzed and excited for the next step, which is actually building out your planner. One other thing you might also want to think about in terms of what you want on your weekly planner is you can also build in little widgets, which sounds really complicated. It's not. Basically, you can just embed a little cute calendar or a little cute playlist or maybe like a progress bar. There's so many cute little widgets like that exist. I'll put a couple names of websites that you can check out to build these widgets. Okay, so I've got a few images chosen here. This sky is really pretty. I'm gonna just right click and hit copy image, go back to my weekly planner page. I'm just gonna Command or Control V to paste that image in. You can see it's super big. I'm gonna make it a little smaller and I'll figure out where I want that to go. Let me just grab my other images that I could be interested in using. And now I'm gonna go to this site widget box, and I have made widgets before on this. I think this simple calendar is really cute. I'm just changing the colors. Now I'm just gonna copy this little link at the bottom and go back to my weekly planner. Let's see, can I just paste this? Create embed. So I just pasted it and I'm hitting this button, create embed. And there we have it, a really cute little calendar. And I might actually make it green to match this image. Now that we have all of our visual elements, let's go ahead and start actually building this out. So the first thing that I'm gonna do if I'm doing a weekly planner, most likely I'm gonna want it to be full screen. And so what I'm gonna do is go to these three dots up here in the top right corner of Notion, and I'm gonna hit full width. So now it's taking up the full width of the screen. And you can toggle if you want it to be small text or larger text. I think I'll do smaller text so you can fit more on the screen. And then you can also change between these three fonts. Which one should we do? Okay, let's try out this serif font. I like it. I think this is really pretty. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is let's go ahead and build out the sections that we have listed here that we know that we want. So starting with this day-by-day breakdown, if you do this plus button to the side of Notion, it gives you this drop-down list. I think what we want is we want a little bit of a column situation, 2 columns. Yeah, let's do 2 columns and maybe we'll add this image to the left side of it. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, that looks great. So we'll do Monday, Tuesday. I'm gonna delete this because now we've added that in. Wow, it's already looking like it's coming together, huh? To stylize and make things kind of go with the look of the imagery, click on this little dots, go to color, and scroll down. They have like a blue tone. What if we made it gray? Is that depressing? It's kind of pretty. It looks like a cloud. I'm gonna add, by the way, as the icon. So if you just click, what did I do? You can do add icon right here. You click it and you can add either an emoji as an icon or you can add an actual icon as an icon. I might go ahead and get this light gray color and get like a cloud. This, or is this depressing? I can't tell. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then maybe underneath, if you type in the 2 brackets like this, and and hit space, it automatically turns into a little checkbox. So you can put in your to-do list item, and then later when you do it, you can check it off. I just love how this looks already. So this icon is kind of not working for me. What if I just do the cloud emoji? What else did we say we wanted to include? Priority rankings for your task list. Okay, this is interesting. So maybe what we can do is at the top of each day, we can highlight in blue priority task. So maybe each day I will highlight in a certain color that this is my priority. Don't mind me, I'm just getting a little bit artsy here, but you don't have to do all this. So each week you'll fill in what the number one priority is for that day. And that way you'll be able to make sure if there's only one thing that you get done that day, it's what is in yellow. That's the one thing you want to make sure you are able to cross off. You could also add in an events and meeting section. So there's a lot of different ways that you could do this. You could also add like in another color, maybe team meeting, and you can just add those in, and you can also drag it around, move it to on any given day, you can move it to wherever it is. Another way that you could possibly do this, something that I like to do, is if I have an event, I'll just add it in as a to-do list item like this, and then I'll just change the color of the text like this. Like I said, you can kind of do this however you want. You might want to have actually like another column right here for events, for example, or deadlines. One thing that people do like to do with these types of lists as well, by the way, is they like to go and turn this into a toggle list. And the purpose of that is just so you can kind of put away that day's tasks. So for example, I'm gonna make this back into default, drop them in there. That way when the day is over, I can kind of put it away and I won't see those tasks. Otherwise, I'm just having to see all of these things crossed out and it might be a little bit distracting to me. So again, personal preference. Okay, so this is looking pretty good to me. Let's see what else we wanted to add. Why don't we add in the weekly focus and affirmations for the week? Maybe at the top, we want to have some kind of little box. So type in maybe call out, and I can change this icon to maybe like a star, and maybe I'll make this whole box yellow. This week's focus. What you'll want to do is you want to use shift return, so that way you can create more space here. Maybe I'll duplicate that and also put next to it like this another box. Color is going to be green, and we'll make this one into affirmations. My affirmation for the week might be slow progress is still progress. That's one of my favorite affirmations. So as you can see now, we've got this really cute little weekly planner dashboard. We've got this cute imagery. Oh, remember we had this calendar? Why don't we add this calendar view all the way up here at the top? Maybe we'll add it right there. Okay, so I have went ahead and just reorganized some things, swapped out that image to just get this looking pretty good. I would say it's looking pretty cute right now. And now we have gotten quite a number of things in. We have our affirmation for the week, the week's focus, the calendar, month at a glance view. I am gonna very quickly show you another way that you can also format your weekly planner if you want something a little bit more detailed. So I'm going to create a database like this, and I'm going to click these buttons here and change the layout to a calendar view like this. And I'm also going to change it from month to week. So here you can see you have the days of the week already laid out for you, and that's just built into this view of a database that Notion provides. And now you can just go in and add your tasks. And what's nice is that you can still drag the information around, and it's also really nice that you can add in these different properties. So for example, maybe in addition to having the date that you're going to be doing it, you can also have, let's say, a priority level. So top priority, second priority. Maybe I also have like just a quick tasks, Maybe here I also write in events. So these are the different categories. Maybe I'll just color code them. So every item can get a priority level. I can also do this so that way in the actual calendar, I can indicate what its priority is. And now I can kind of have information displayed this way. So this was looking pretty cute. Maybe we'll just add in a quick cover photo. So you can either find a photo that you like from Pinterest or something like that. But if you just want something pretty easy and straightforward, you can just go to change cover and they have a bunch of options already preloaded that are totally pretty. You can also go to Unsplash, which is just like a database of beautiful imagery that is free to use and built into Notion already. Maybe I'm gonna type in clouds. Ooh, gorgeous. That has to be the one, right? That has to be the one. Okay, that is so pretty. It's so pretty, it kind of is making me want to get rid of all of this green. Okay, this is where I landed. I changed up all the colors and the fonts and stuff. I usually just like to use whatever my reference image is that I pulled from Pinterest, and I use that to kind of build the whole thing out and make the whole thing look right and look pretty. Maybe I even changed this to actually be a blue background, you know, whatever it might be to make it look cohesive to you. Oh yeah, that helped a lot. It's looking so cute. I love this. Okay, great. We have almost everything added in here, but there are a few things that we talked about wanting to add in. So for habit trackers, there are a couple of different ways to do this, but I'm inclined to do the simplest method. So if it's something that we're trying to do daily, like I would literally just add in a little habits tab. And maybe I'll make these habits like a different color that separates it from the rest of the items. 8 cups water. So I might just be inclined to do it something like this. So that way it is just right there on my daily page. Maybe I'll just copy this and add it to the bottom of all of them. So another way that you could do habits, if you don't want to include them like this in your daily kind of to-do list, one thing you could do is have it somewhere else on your weekly planner. So maybe down here, I might write habits, and the habits that I'm tracking. I can then add in some kind of symbol, maybe like a star symbol. Then you'll put in some kind of symbol for every day of the week. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then as you do it every day of the week, you color them in. And then if you skip a day, you don't color it in, which if you're anything like me, that'll bug the crap out of you. Again, the point is just figuring out a system that works really well for you and that makes you accountable to your habits and goals. I think that's pretty cute. One other way that I do want to show you that is another possibility for how to habit track. I think this one is a little bit more complicated, but I'll just show it to you as an option if it's interesting, which is to create a database. So the way you create a database is you'll hit this little plus button, you can type in database and you'll see it comes up. Do the one that says inline. Maybe what I would do is I would take this, put it at the top. I could even hide the title just so we don't have too much information there. And then I might write all of my habits here. And then here you can edit each of these properties and make each one of them a day of the week. And what you'll want to do when you make these a day of week, you'll want to hit edit property and turn it into a checkbox. And then you can just check them off as you complete the task. For the layout, maybe you don't want to show those vertical lines and just keep it like that. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty cute. I think it's a little overly involved personally, but it is a possibility. If you're like, ooh, yeah, that gets me excited, do it like that. The only other thing that we didn't include yet is the weekly review. Again, there's so many ways you can do it. I'll just show you one of them. So maybe I'll make another thing like this, and maybe I'll make this one into a little toggle. So then here I can list out a couple of questions that I might want to ask myself at the end of every week, whatever you want. And then every week you can kind of answer the question. Answer goes here. And once again, there's so many ways to format this. I'm just kind of doing something that's like kind of fast and easy for me. And you can kind of toggle this like this, as you can see. so you don't see it until the end of the week. Okay, so the last thing that we're gonna add in here is now a template, basically a way to automate this, because at the end of this week, when everything is all checked off, I want to be able to automatically refresh this without having to get all like, I have to uncheck everything and delete everything. No, I want it to be super easy to refresh this so there's no work on my end. So here's how you do it. And fortunately, Notion has a super simple way to make this happen. So what you're gonna do is all of this information here, highlight it all like this, and make sure you actually have all of the kind of blocks grabbed. So you wanna have it like that as opposed to like just doing this, if that makes sense. So you'll want a blank version of this, by the way. So like, right focus here, right affirmation here. So basically a totally blanked out version that doesn't have all of these things filled out yet. Copy it all, and you're gonna hit this plus button and type in button. So this is such a cool function that Notion has, creating a really easy reset for your planner. To set up your button, you can name your button something like new weekly spread, and then add a step. You want it to insert block so that when you push this button, it'll automatically insert a fresh version of your template. I'm just gonna hit paste. And as you can see, everything just automatically dropped right into that button builder, exactly as we had it. Now I'm gonna hit done. And now every time I click this button, we automatically get a brand new version of that weekly spread, which is amazing. So you can either just delete all the information from the previous week. So, just copy this, delete, and it's gone. But what I tend to like to do is I actually really like having a record of my previous weeks, just so I have that information to look back on if I need it. So the way to do that is super simple. What I would do is I would create a toggle like this. I can write in January week 1 or whatever the time period is that you're trying to save. I'll just grab all of that, drop it in there. Now all of that information just lives inside of that toggle. And then what I would do is just create a page. So this is a page inside of my weekly planner that I'm just gonna call archive. Now you can take your whole old spread that you just completed that week and you just move it right into your archive and it's gone, but later you can go back and reference it. Eventually you'll have a whole list. So you'll have a whole archive and record of everything that you did. And when you're ready for the new spread, boom, there she is. So easy. I might even just tweak this button to insert the block above the button, just so, it goes automatically on top. There you have it. Now it's so easy to reset your week every week, and it'll be all automated for you to not have to overthink it when it's the new week. You just click the button and you get a fresh week. One thing that you can also do is, if it's easier, you can make that toggle list just once, then put everything under your new week, then go to your button. Now I'm going to copy this, paste it in here, and now the whole toggle is there. And now all I need to do is click this button and my new spread is all set up and ready to go. There it all is. Wow. Isn't that kind of amazing? I really love this Notion weekly planner system. I just find it to be so easy to automate. It takes some time, of course, to set it up, but once you have it set up, then you're done and it just kind of keeps refreshing. Okay, so the last step in all this is to just start using your system. Start using it for a week or 2 weeks or a few weeks and see what's working, what's not working, and tweak it as you go. You're gonna find you had some things that you set up initially that you thought were gonna be great and so useful and make you so productive, and you're gonna be like, ugh, just feels like clutter, or it just feels like a burden to have to fill this out every week. That's fine. Delete it, change it, adjust it, adapt it, make it work for you and what your workflow and energy is like when you're looking at your weekly planner. And just expect to make little tweaks along the way. It'll eventually get better and better until it is the perfect weekly planner for you. Okay, so I hope that was helpful in guiding you on how to make a weekly planner in Notion without using a Notion template. If you would like a full Notion tour of my Notion setup, or maybe like a video on my whole planning system of how I plan out my year and my months and how I make sure I am tracking my progress toward those goals, I am very happy to make any of those types of videos. Just let me know down below in the comments what you're interested in so I know what to make next. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so we're able to find each other out here again in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.